All right. All right. Mark Speaks. Y'all know how I do. Cooking it up. Cooking the books with a whole new meaning. I want to kind of just still build on sensitivity. I want to get all, you know my saying, I like to squeeze the lemon dry, get all the juices out of it. And I believe it's in the book of John 7:24. Jesus, the Bible, the scripture says that, I'm paraphrasing, right? I need to brush up on my verbatim, biblical verbatim skills. But I'm going to paraphrase. I believe Jesus says that judge not off of the appearance, but judge righteously. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. Do not judge solely off of appearance, but judge righteously. That speaks to the heart of that speaks to the heart of sensitivity. And the reason why is because when I use the term sensitivity, the context in which I'm using it is in terms of being able to perceive what is not readily available or noticeable, right? Perception and the ability to perceive is not natural vision. We have natural eyes. We have the retina. We have cones and rods within our eyes that allow us to interpret visual images that we are allowed to see in the visible light in terms of the spectrum. But outside of the visible light spectrum, there are other wavelengths or other light or other emittance of radiation, whatever, that we cannot see. We cannot see because our natural eyes limit us to the visible. In terms of the spectrum of wavelengths, we're only able to see in the visible light spectrum. Now, if you have some kind of device, you can see infrared, so on and so forth. But naturally, we can only see with our natural eyes. So when Jesus is saying, do not judge off appearance, but rather judge righteously, then he comes back later, Jesus, that is, comes back later and says, they have eyes, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not, right? And the reason why Jesus says this is because the sight that he is describing in judge not off of appearance, but judge righteously. Also, I believe it's in the book of Isaiah. Don't quote me. I think it's Isaiah that says, man look at the outward parts, but God look at the heart, the inward parts. I don't know if it's Isaiah. I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on the exact scripture. I think it's Isaiah. But he says, man look on the outward parts, but God look on the inward parts. Either it's Isaiah or it's Chronicles. It's been, as you can see clearly, I need to brush up on my Bible skills. But be that as it may, the scripture does say that man judge and look on the outward appearance, but God judges on the inward appearance. And the book of John 7:27 says that do not judge off of just appearance, but judge righteously. And again, there's so many other scriptures that tells us that we have eyes, but we do not see. We have ears, but we do not hear. And the vision that's being described there is based off sensitivity. And the reason why I say it's based off sensitivity is because we have 5 senses, right? Smell, touch, taste, sight, hearing, right? We have these several senses, but we also have a sense that is outside of the natural senses, the 5 natural senses. Again, we have sight, we have smell, right? We have taste, right? We have touch, and we have hear. That's 5, the ability to hear. But we have extra perception sense that is outside of these 5 senses. So sensitivity is that 6th sense. Sensitivity is your 6th sense. And when I say sensitivity, I'm talking in terms of perception, being able to perceive what is not readily noticeable or readily available to the natural eyes. So perception is more of an intuition, seeing. If you go into Egyptology, which I'm not an Egyptologist, I don't study it, I don't claim any authority on this field of knowledge, but I do know some of their tenets, and one of the things they talk about is the pineal gland, which they would consider the 3rd eye, the eye of Horus or whatever. You know, that is I agree with them in that regards, that is where perception lies, the ability to see with the 3rd eye, right? To be able to see what is not seen by the natural eyes, the ability to hear what is not heard by the natural ear, the ability to taste what is not available to the taste palates of your tongue. So the ability to use all of your senses outside of the natural confines, because our natural senses are confined and restricted to the natural realm. So when I talk about sensitivity, I'm talking about being able to, like I use Spider-Man, being able to use the senses, the perceptions, okay? Being able to perceive, to see without seeing, to hear without hearing, right? To talk without moving your mouth, right? These are powers that are latent and dormant, residing within the pineal gland. And if we learn to activate that, that is a beautiful thing. So, as I said before, let sensitivity reign from the tops of the mountains to the valleys of the ocean, from the throes of the peaks to the belly of the Nile. Let sensitivity reign.